I'm here after a day that I've spent productively. I woke up early, I worked on podcast episodes, I communicated with a few people, and I then worked on some of my own goals. I'm still working on my 2017 goals. I've decided to drill down deep and revise some of my core needs. I've discovered some issues with them, and overall it's been a very, very satisfying day. And this has been the trend ever since I quit my job roughly 2 weeks ago. But even before that, for I would say almost 2 years, or maybe even going back further, every time that I managed to do work that was meaningful to me, I always experienced this very deep satisfaction. And what is special now is that I can spend all of my time on it. And this ratio has kept on increasing, both in terms of how much free time I had and in terms of how much of this work I'm capable of doing. And it's not sad, I don't know. I'm doing a pretty intense schedule in a way, and I don't know if that's gonna last for a very long time, or I'll have to take it down to avoid burnout. But either way, this has increased in my life, and it's definitely at a peak now, and it's so enjoyable to be able to spend the day and only do things that I've thought of and that are my plans, that I'm the ultimate authority on, that I know very clearly how to further my goals. There's no conflict of interest anywhere, and I know it enriches the lives of other people and has the impact that I want it to have when it comes to my outwards facing work, and has the deep personal impact when it comes to my inwards facing work. That is an incredible joy, and I've decided to make this a thank you video, and perhaps it would fit better for Thanksgiving, but first of all, I'm not that familiar with that holiday, and second, this is the moment where it came out, and I want to say thanks to all the people who've enabled this. I've drawn up a little list here, and it's not comprehensive, but it's the people that came to my mind, so I'm just gonna go quickly through it, and that's where I'll be looking. So I want to thank my family to begin with. That was the first point, and even though I'm not in contact with them at the moment, and I'm not fully satisfied about my childhood, there were definitely shortcomings in how I was raised, and there were areas that could have been better. But what I've come to realize is that despite those, they have given me an attitude, a mindset, where I could keep my childlike curiosity that was never suppressed. And I think they've had faith in me, at least some of them have always had faith in me that I'm capable of achieving the things that I want to achieve, and that I'm destined for great things in life. And that mentality stayed with me and enabled everything else, and for that I'm thankful to them. Next, I'm thankful for the people who worked to develop the games and later the videos and books and movies in English that helped me learn English. English has probably been the greatest blessing in my life, insofar as it really widen my access to the topics that I'm most interested in. My native language, which is Hungarian, really limits my capacity of accessing the most groundbreaking work that's happening in the world right now. And all those people who spend their times creating these fun kinds of entertainment have perhaps unknowingly contributed to me picking up this language very easily. I didn't have to put willpower into it. It came as part of the fun. So I'm very thankful for them. I'm thankful for my English teachers, though their role was more limited. And I'm even thankful for the people who were not upset about the fact that I spent so much time consuming English and that I used the English word, and they were supportive in that, at least. I want to thank the people who've enabled me to come here to the UK. So I've had some savings from my family. I'm very thankful for that. That enabled me to take the leap. I'm very thankful to the people who've helped me out in the very first days of coming here. And even to the people who have come here and then went back, and that first planted the seeds of this idea in my head, as well as my friend whom we hitchhiked from Romania to Paris. And I got to experience Western Europe firsthand. That was a major element of my motivation, seeing it in reality and not just through the internet. So I'm thankful for all of them. I'm thankful for the people who've created the videos and books and resources that showed to me that personal development is a worthy goal and is a central goal if you want to attain happiness. I'm very thankful to those people. I'm thankful to my therapist and in general the people who showed me that self-knowledge is valuable. I have gained so much tranquility and peace of mind and an increased ability to deal with the unpredictable events of life thanks to them. I've learned sport skills. I've learned to listen to myself with care. I've learned to develop empathy. All of those really enrich my life today. I want to thank, in particular, the people who wrote the books and the podcasts and videos concerning the importance of setting goals and concerning personal finances. In particular, the idea of frugality and extreme saving have been very, very useful to me. I was always frugal. That's part of something that comes from my family, and I've learned that habit. And coming here to the UK from Romania, it was pretty easy because all of the expensive habits that people have here did seem unnatural. It wasn't the water around the fish kind of scenario. I could see them for how expensive they are and how there are better ways to meet those needs. And I want to thank just personal development content creators in particular who've talked about the importance of being conscious around personal finances, as well as the idea that financial independence exists and that it's attainable and that it's worth attaining and it's not that hard to attain actually. All of those ideas have enabled me to at least be here, and I don't know how sustainable this experiment will be, but it has enabled me to be here and experience this moment, and I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. I'm very thankful to my few close friends. They've been an immense part of my growth journey, as well as have increased my ability to take risks significantly. And I'm very grateful to them because they have been a key element of this plan as well. It was a phone call that really set me on this path after I've realized that all I need is food and shelter, that fired me up a lot. And I made a phone call to a really close friend, and I asked him, "Hey, I have this plan. If things don't work out, if I go completely bust, can I stay with you? Can I count on you to be able to pick myself up and cover myself if that happens in the worst case scenario?" And he and his partner, they said yes, and that is one of the key foundations on which this whole leap is built. So I'm very grateful to them. And as I said, to the whole growing together that we've done in the past 2 years, 1.5 years, was extremely valuable to me. Finally, I want to thank the members of my mastermind group who, well, some of them I've been in contact with for I think about half a year, and the rest of them for less than that, maybe a month or two, but they have given me a lot of invaluable advice, invaluable free advice, and they've given me inspiration through their own actions and their own entrepreneurial journey, and I've learned so much from them, and it's so great to be able to rely on their advice and their support, even emotional support to some degree, and they've been very encouraging towards this step, and it's very nice to know that should things get rough, I can count on them to be an understanding party and give good advice and give encouragement, as they've already done previously. So I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful to have had this opportunity, even these 2 weeks and the time before that where I was working part-time, and just the podcast started in April. And even before the podcast, those moments that I could fully devote to meaningful work for others and meaningful work just for myself. It's been such a rewarding experience. It's been such just a quietly joyful, a quietly satisfying experience to do these things, that even if this whole experiment doesn't succeed and I cannot raise enough money from podcast and the various things that I plan to have around that, even if I have to go back to having a part-time job or something like that, and I have to slow down with the entrepreneurial activity, or I have to do, well, I choose to do something else that's less aligned with my deepest needs. Just having had these few weeks and the months that are coming up that I can live on my savings is an opportunity worth living for. I'm happy. I'm really ecstatic to have had at least the chance to experience this, even if I, for whatever reason, never experience that in the future. I don't think that's going to be the case, but even if I don't get that, this will have made everything, all the difficulties that I've gone through so far, be worth it, and just living and struggling and all of that worth it. So I want to say thank you to everybody involved in that, and I also encourage you. I have various viewers. Some people are doing what I'm doing more successfully. Others are perhaps only thinking of it. Try it out. Try drilling down on what is meaningful to you if you're not clear about that, and try to find ways, even if it's not the full-time thing, even if it's your afternoon or your morning or your evening, whatever. Do this kind of work because it's so satisfying. I wish you good luck with that, and I thank you for everybody involved in this big experiment.